Good morning, beautiful people. This is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and I am at an Advanced Auto Parts. Nothing's wrong with my car. Never claiming nothing like that to happen to me ever again. Because I try to keep up with maintenance on my vehicles and things like that. Given the fact that my father was a mechanic for the state of Alabama, I don't play none of that. But while I was nowhere near him, things would happen, and it was kind of like, what I can do until it would happen. You know what I'm saying? And then I would have to scramble to get some money and put aside for that in order to fix stuff. And I was just lucky that I wasn't put out on the side of the road, except for one time when my car overheated. I had no idea what it was, and it was something I ended up getting fixed with my Crown Vic that I had prior to this vehicle that I have. Anyway, again, good morning, happy Monday. I hope that the week is starting off amazing for y'all. It is for me, at least now, since I woke up. I was sad all this weekend, and I try not to have that type of energy, but I was. The truth is the truth. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to y'all. It is what it is. So what I'm about to do now is I'm about to head to go and get my car washed, even though I don't really need it, but I'm paying for this membership, and I can go as many times a day as I want to. So instead of me going once or twice a month, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and go while I'm out here. So might as well. The one that's closest to where I'm going, I might as well go. So this radio gonna try to cut on. Let me make sure I get that for it. Cut that off where I couldn't get it. But anyway, so yeah, I'm about to head to go and get my car washed. Then I'm gonna go and run my little errands and head back to the house. Hopefully I'll be home before noon, because absolutely not. Yeah, there's that. So, whew, hey y'all, I am back. So I done made it to the house. I went out and ended up running all my errands. I was gonna try to do it while I was driving, but I kept getting distracted. People kept doing so much ignorant stuff, and y'all know how I get when I get distracted. So I was just like, let me just wait till I get to the house to really tell y'all what I was trying to tell y'all, because it's my own personal tea. Y'all know from time to time I'll tell y'all some of my really, really intimate personal details of things going on in my life. So let me tell y'all what's been going on. So first of all, today is the day that I go back to sleep so that I can go to work. Tomorrow is my first day of the work week. Kind of dreading that, but I'm trying to stay in positive spirits about it, because I mean, obviously I gotta do it. I ain't got no other way to make no money and pay these bills, so I gotta do what I gotta do. So anyway, so remember I told y'all that there's this guy who has acted as if he's interested in me. He lives like 2 hours away from me. He's been the only person who has been like matching my energy and all of that. Please don't knock on my window. Don't say nothing to me. Please get on by. Like, I don't know why you do this. Because one day, y'all, I was getting my stuff together. Y'all see? Walking in the background. I was getting my stuff together. And he lives up the street, like a couple of houses up the street, in like this rooming house for like men. I don't know what they got going on over there, but he's a drunk. But he came up to me while I was getting all of my autumn things y'all saw built up back there, all those totes. And he asked me about him, and I mean, I wasn't fearful of him. I just don't want to talk. Like, I just don't want to talk to you. And you can smell the alcohol. And y'all already know, for those of y'all who've been here like pretty much from the beginning, or when like some of my videos went viral in a sense, or they picked up a lot of momentum, let me put it like that, where a lot of people were watching them, they were viewing that particular video and a couple of my other videos a lot. When I was talking about when I got molested by my uncle, yeah, I get that from him, because my uncle was an alcoholic, and I don't even like to smell alcohol coming through nobody's pores. Child. So anyway, I just didn't want to talk to him. He be doing too much sometimes. And then sometimes he really will come over here and sit on our stoop, and then sit right across from where my car is sitting right now, and he'd be waiting when I come home. I'd be like, oh Lord. Like, I think now he finna go down the street to some little store to get him some alcohol, because that's what he normally do. Walk up and down this, get alcohol and drink it all day, and be on the phone hollering and screaming at folks. He be doing too much. But I digress. Let me tell y'all my business. So y'all know I was off this weekend. I had my last day of work, got off at 8 a.m. on Saturday. So all the rest of Saturday I was off, all of Sunday I was off, and part of the day I'm off. Y'all know I go back tomorrow morning, because essentially I don't consider this to be my full off day, because I still got to go to sleep for work. So Excuse me. So, the guy who lives like 2 hours away from me, we've been talking for like a month and a half. He seemed cool. He been matching my energy. Like, I just got to a point where I'm like, I'm not finna set it off. I'm not finna give you more than what you give me. I'm not putting more into nothing than what you putting into it. So, you know what I'm saying? He's been doing pretty great. Well, last weekend, he was supposed to let me know whether or not he was going to try to meet up with me or be able to meet up with me, because he's kind of like me. Even though he has his own business and all the other stuff, he works with other people, and he has like these contracts and stuff. So depending on what they have going on, they be having him working like 7 days a week, and it is what it is. So I'm like, do what you got to do. Now, he is somebody who has told me he has been divorced. I don't know how true that is, but he said he'd been divorced for like a year or something like that. All right, do what you do. Y'all already know my situation. This man been telling me for the longest he getting divorced, told me he was divorced, and then it got to the point where come to find out he ain't divorced. And it's like, all right, now you played in my face. We gonna get to that at a later date and time too, because yeah. But anyway, so he told me Saturday and Sunday he would have to let me know whether or not he was gonna be working so that we could meet up, because we had been talking about meeting up for a little while, and I don't feel stranger danger or nothing like that type of a vibe coming off of him. And I'm definitely prepared to fight if somebody want to try me. If I'm gonna go out of here, I'm gonna go down fighting. But I don't think none of that is finna go down. I feel like he would be scary in that regard. I don't think he would try me. So anyway, last weekend he ended up telling me, yeah, I do gotta work Saturday. So I'm waiting to see if he's gonna be off Sunday. He never said anything, so I figured he got busy and he ended up having to work. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't get upset about it. Wasn't nothing wrong with that for me. You know what I'm saying? I be having my moments where I disappear because I'm tired of my spirit. I done went to sleep like almost all last week. Going back to my old schedule, I was falling asleep. I had to apologize to my friend because it seemed like the only time I was reaching out to her was to ask her if she would change the schedule, or did they change the schedule to accommodate me and make sure I was back in my home department now that I'm back doing my old job. And so like I really had to go to her and was like, look here, I just wanted to make sure you understand that I'm not using you and all of that or whatever, right? Because I thought about it, like, wait a minute, it seemed like I ain't never reaching out to her unless it's something I want. Like, wait a minute, it ain't no, hey, how you doing? Like, she's about to go through a divorce with somebody that we both work with or whatever. Like, he came on after me or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I have to still work with him. He know I'm cool with her and all of that. Even though I don't have to work with him directly, we still cross paths. He be saying stuff sometimes, like he be acting like he lived for my, this man act like he lived for my hair when I have my hair out, when I have it twisted up, when I have it froed out. This man be setting it off on the left, right, front, and back. Oh, I love your hair like that. Oh my gosh, are you gonna lock it up? Your wife got locks. What is, like, leave me alone. But anyway, he be doing too much. So back to my situation. So talking to him, I'm thinking everything fine. He ain't say nothing Sunday. I said, okay. Well, he didn't say nothing Saturday leading into Sunday so that I could know whether or not I was going to meet up. Now, prior to all of this, I told y'all that, or I think I told y'all that we had been talking, and one day he asked me what I was doing, and I was still doing the old job where I was filling in. And so he kind of be keeping me preoccupied. I be here for it. He be helping my night go by. My day, night, all of that go by when he, kind of talked to me, because it's like his schedule kind of overlapped into mine, or mine, however you want to put it. Mine overlapped into his, and he would get off maybe 2-3 hours before me. So there would be times that he would talk to me, I would get the messages, and like his timing would be impeccable. That's why at times I'm like, dang, it might be meant for us to be, friends or something, because he would be catching me at the best times to talk to me. I'd be just going to break, or a situation going on where I can really be able to talk to him without being interrupted, nobody being in my face, all of that, trying to be nosy, all of that. So again, I didn't think nothing of the fact that he didn't say nothing to me Saturday as to whether or not he was going to be available on that Sunday. Now we're on to this week. So then I reached out. I was like, hey, how you doing? Happy Monday, whatever, last week. And, he responded. Everything was fine. Everything was cool. And we was talking to each other all throughout the week. He didn't say nothing. I ain't say nothing about meeting up. So then Friday or Saturday, I think it was Saturday, he reached out to me and he said, what you doing tomorrow? What are your plans for tomorrow? So part of me was like, is he asking just to make conversation, or is he asking because he might actually be off? So I told him, I was like, nothing really. I might go to the grocery store. I think I'm gonna go to the grocery store. So he was like, oh, well, which grocery store? So I was like, Food Lion, because Food Lion has been the only place here that has muscadines, and I'm trying to see if they still have any more in stock at any location that actually look good enough for me to be purchasing, because I want some more. And I done watermeloned myself out. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's great, and I'm gonna miss it once it's gone for real. You know, if anybody is still selling any seeded watermelon, I'm gonna be very upset until it come back around next summer, but it is what it is. But what I'm gonna have to do to keep that particular type of hydration going, what is it, H3O2? Yeah, which is more hydrating than just water. It's gonna have to be seeded watermelons. I mean, not seeded watermelons. Since they are gonna be out of season, it's gonna have to be seeded grapes, which I hadn't seen none in years until now. And then cucumbers are very hydrating as well, so I'm gonna have to go between the two of those. As long as I can keep some of those on hand and they keep them in the stove, I'm gonna be getting them. So anyway, you know, I told him, oh, Food Line. He was like, oh, which location? So then my spidey sense is tingling, but I was just like, that's random for him to ask me what location, but okay. Like, I'm not finna read into nothing. I done got to the point just like, I'm not finna really read into nothing like that, even though my spidey sense is tingling. So I was like, I don't know. No particular location. It's just, you know, I'm going to go from location to location until I find what I'm looking for. And hopefully I will find what I'm looking for. So he was like, oh, okay. That was the end of the conversation. Nothing else was said. Wasn't no weird emoji. As far as what his response to that was, all he said was, oh, okay. End. That's the end of it. So now Sunday's here. So we talking. And I end up sending him something on social media. Like, he went off, y'all. He done went off. He asked if we could be friends on social media. I said, sure. He was like, he was like, I think you have Instagram. I sent you something a while back. You never responded. I said, oh, well, what is it? Sometimes I will have stuff over there. People that sent me all kinds of requests and they sit there. And if I don't know you personally, or, you know, it's on a level like this, then I'm not going to accept it to my knowledge, or I try not to. I think I might have 1 or 2 subscribers to this channel who have gotten through. Hopefully I ain't scaring y'all too bad with the stuff I be posting up there, which part of it I'm gonna tell y'all about today for those of y'all who aren't subscribed or whatever, because it's pretty much my personal page, and I be posting some wild stuff. I'm not embarrassed. It's just that I'm just like, ooh, I don't want to mortify y'all like that. So anyway, I sent him something through direct message on Instagram on Sunday morning or something like that. And so he said it was wild. He's like, man, you wild. And so I was like, you just don't know. So I've never talked about anything crazy, like outlandish or whatever with him. We ain't never talked about sex. We ain't never talked about nothing that would be like making it, for you to be able to make any type of reference to, oh, they might be, you know, being nasty or something. Like, nothing crazy has been happening. Nothing crazy has been discussed out there or whatever. We've been talking about very rated PG type of stuff. Yeah, or whatever they call the ratings. No, that ain't him. So anyway, so I said what I said, and so he was like, well, I forgot how we got to this point, but anyway, basically he's trying to make it seem as though I should have been able to pick up on the fact that he had tried to come and see me. So I was like, what are you talking about? So he was like, you know why I asked you what location grocery store of Food Line that you were gonna go to. I was like, no. So then I was like, please don't tell me that you asked me that because you were planning on driving 2 hours to come and meet me in a parking lot. So he was like, well, what's wrong with that? I was like, Nothing, but what would be the reason for you to do that? Because essentially you're going to want to come back to my place, right? Because you're not finna sit up here and tell me that you would have came all the way here for 2 hours, sat in the parking lot, and talked to me for a few minutes and then left and went back to the house, driving 2 hours one way. That ain't making sense to me. And I'm confused because why is that you couldn't just say to me, hey, are you off tomorrow? And I told you my answer, and you would have been like, guess what? I'm finally off. You want to meet up? Because prior to all of this, we talked. You said to me, hey, I want to see if we can meet up. I'm looking into a room. I think I told y'all that before. He was talking about looking into a room that was like at a halfway point, so I could drive 1 hour, he could drive 1 hour, so that neither one of us has to deal with all that stuff. I'm willing to do that. Again, I don't get no stranger danger vibes. I don't think no sex trafficking and kidnapping, adult napping, or whatever you're going to say is going to go down. I don't get that from him. So it is what it is. So I'm like, okay, we went from you saying that quite some time ago to you agreeing to give me some gas money if I decided to come and see you because your schedule is so crazy. It's to the point where he was like, well, yeah, my schedule's so crazy. I don't even think you would be willing to come and see me and just hang out with me for a couple of hours in between right before I go to sleep, because I'm not going to have time to come see you and then get back on the road. I'm not going to be able to get no sleep, which I understand. So I was like, yeah, I would. If I had a day off, yeah, I would. Like Sunday, I had the whole day off. I would have rolled out. I would have came. Because you just told me that ain't no issue. I will give you the gas money. I just filled my car up today. It's going to take $65. And I already told him. I was like, are you sure? And I was just like, yeah. You do realize that my car take premium. He basically was like, he don't care nothing about all that. That ain't no issue. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm trying to understand why you couldn't just say to me, hey, can you, are you off on this day? Find out the information and then we go from there. That was never discussed. I'm still confused. I don't understand what's going on here, y'all. So anyway, so now we're at a point where we're going back and forth, which should not even be the case. And I'm in disbelief that this is happening. Nobody's raising their voices or, getting an attitude per se or whatever. But he tried to tell me that I should have understood, or he basically said, y'all, that I know, like, you knew that was the reason why I asked you what location that you were going to be at. I'm looking like, I really didn't. Like, and so I went into this space of, I had to think about it. I said, let me think before I respond. I said to him, why couldn't you have just communicated to me that you were going to be off if that was the situation? Because at this point, he still isn't saying to me, I was off today. Because I am. And he was like, ain't no way you didn't know, da da da. I was just like, I literally did not know. And so I'm saying to myself, well, I said to him, I was like, there's no way you're telling me you were going to come, see me, sit in the parking lot for however long, and then go back to the house. He was like, yeah. He was like, oh, well, and he does this standoffish, let me say this and run away type of thing instead of communicating effectively. And I had to tell him, I was like, you're not communicating effectively with me. Because I said to him, I was like, so you mean to tell me you were going to come here 2 hours, one direction, sit in the parking lot, not try to, go nowhere, really, we would just go talk. He was like, yeah, I was just going to get a hug, talk to you a few minutes and then go. I'm like, wait a minute. So at this point in my mind, I'm like, okay, so were you going to be in the area or something? Like, you're not making sense. Because again, we've never discussed anything like that before. The only thing we have said was, maybe we can meet in a room that's an hour away for each one of us so that we're splitting the difference in time that it's going to take for us to get to one another so that we can finally meet in person. Or I was going to take the charge, so to speak, and go see him. And he was going to give me the gas money to come and see him because he really, really, really wants to see me. And I mean, I want to see him too. So it's like, I don't understand. Like, this ain't making sense to me. So he making it out like he making it seem like I'm crazy. And I'm like, no, this is crazy. We've never discussed anything like this. So then I say to him again, this is not effective communication. Because it's like, it'll get to a point where I'm asking him, I'm like, what made you think that that's what I'm supposed to just know this? So he just kind of be like, not necessarily dismissive, but it's like he tried to run away instead of just continuing on with the conversation so that we can discuss it, hash it out, come to a resolution, and then we come back together at the end of it. I'm not finna operate in that way. I'm not finna operate in no confusion. I'm sorry, the things that I've had to do in the past to try to get from day to day, get through each day, I'm not doing it. I had to walk on eggshells when I was with my ex. I was fearful of talking to him about the most basic stuff. I'm not going back to that place. I'm not about to be fearful to ask you a question, to talk to you about nothing. So I was like, no, like what is really going on? Like I don't understand. This is nothing that we've ever discussed before. So why is it that you couldn't come to me and just say to me, hey, I'm gonna be off today. Are you gonna be off so that we can meet up? And he just kind of like was like, yeah, nah. And then like it was just the best way I can describe it was like a dismissive, even though it wasn't. In a sense it was, but it was like dismissive, and he was just like, yeah, so I'm finna go lay down for a little while and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, okay. I was just like, you know what, shaking my head. So then, because at first I just looked at at first I saw the message. So you know, like when you see messages, sometimes you don't have to click on it and you can read it. So I read it and I ain't say nothing for like 30-45 minutes. So then I got back on there and I said, shaking my head. So then he was like, what's up? He was like, you got something to say? He was like, what's going on? I was like, you could have literally just said it. And that's when I kind of like escalated it, and I felt like I was being vulnerable and kind of got in my emotions because I was like, I was off today. Like today is my only full day off, and we've been talking about seeing each other. So why is it that you didn't just simply say to me, hey, you know, are you off today? I'm off. I would love to see you. I would love to hang out with you, whatever, right? Why wasn't that a part of what you thought should have been said? Like, now you got my wheels turning. Was this a part of why you ain't with your wife no more? Like, what? I'm trying to understand. Because it's like, if we're going to deal with each other, I'm eventually going to ask him, like, why did your marriage not work? Like, was it because of communication? Like, what is it? At this point, you really got me curious now, because I'm like, I didn't do nothing to you. And I said within that conversation as well, I was like, I didn't come at you sideways in any type of way, going off or nothing like that. So like what really is going on? Because I'm just trying to effectively communicate with you and see what's going on. I want to know the details. I'm just trying to understand the details and what the thought process was behind this, so that it can be resolved. I don't feel like I said anything out of the way. I'm being very careful. It's to the point where I make a point, and it's crazy. I just feel like everything is backfiring no matter what I'm doing. And that's why I wholeheartedly feel like I did something in a past life, because no matter how I communicate with somebody, they always take it the wrong way. They always take it in some weird way. I always get a crazy or weird response or no response at all. And I just be like, what in the world? So that leads me into the last thing I'm going to talk to y'all about. Which at the end of what I'm gonna say, it's gonna, after everything I just said, y'all gonna look at me crazy like, wait a minute. So there's something that's been going around that's kind of going viral right now. I don't know if y'all have seen it or not, but I went on TikTok to see it and all that stuff. But there was this woman who was at her job. I don't know if it's a McDonald's or something, but it seems like a restaurant or something like that. So she starts recording this man because he tried to roll up on her to ask for a number and all this other stuff. And she was basically like, no, I'm good, whatever. He didn't take it well. And he done went off on her, so she starts recording. And like when the recording starts, it's like he's in the middle of saying, F your daddy and all this other stuff. Because I think she might have said something like, wow, you're getting real aggressive with me. Like, I would, hope to not have to bring my daddy into this. Because it's like, girl, if you have your father in your life, oh, my daddy would set it off too, right now. My daddy is not a spring chicken. He's going to still set it off for me right now. Ain't nobody got time. Real fathers, real men. My daddy don't play about me at all. So when he said that, the man was like, F you, your daddy, and all. I mean, this man going off. So there was some man in the background that obviously worked with her. And I was so thankful that he was standing up to him as well. Like, he had to kind of come in the middle. Like, this man setting it off, going off, cussing her out. And he eventually said something about shooting her him and everybody else and all. And I was like, what? It's like this man gonna leave, because they kept trying to tell the man to leave the establishment. So he's getting closer and closer to the door, still going off, and he's upset and belligerent. And it's like, why are you acting like this? And he basically was like, well, I'll come back tomorrow, whatever. It seemed like he was basically like, I'll come back as often as I want to. I will come back. It don't matter if I leave right now. I'll come back tomorrow. And it's like he might harass her the next day. So now the man that said, well, the police will be waiting on you. And so once he said, oh, it was a wrap, that's when he bring in the guns, talking about, oh, well, I'll shoot you. And somebody was like, don't say that. I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I shared that video footage, and then some random heifer got down in the comment section of that video and basically, tried to downplay the situation. And it's like, no, like you really tried it. And I hate when there are women who know a situation is wrong, but they want to be a pick-me so bad that they will do anything to jump up and down for certain men that wouldn't even spit on them if they were on fire. And I'm just like, please stop. So when I posted the videos on my Instagram, I ended up putting it in the caption, or whatever you want to say, about how I wish that men knew how to take rejection. And that I have been the type of person that has rejected so many people that I've lost count as to how many people I've rejected, but they were not understanding that I'm rejecting them because I'm in a relationship, or I was healing from a relationship, a terrible relationship that I'd already been through. So it's like I'm in no condition to try to have no type of nothing, no kind of correspondence with nobody. I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm not even trying to go out on a date with you, and I'm in the middle of healing and all this other stuff. So yeah. And I was just like, we don't feel protected. We don't feel, you know what I'm saying? All these things I always talk about. We aren't being protected. Like, y'all always acting abusive towards us and all this other stuff. So it's like, no. So then this woman who, she and I, we follow each other. I didn't know her prior to that. I don't even know how that even came about, but we follow each other on social media. So she got up under there and she was just like, wow, I'm, very moved by what you said. You made a whole lot of valid points and all this other stuff. Now, keep in mind, she's somebody who has been divorced. She's gotten divorced. She went through a terrible situation with her husband and all this other stuff or whatever, right? So a lot of gaslighting be going on. The people be doing the most, and then they'll try to make it seem like you the problem when it's really them and all of that. So she and I were going back and forth, and I was just telling her, like, that's why I've gotten to the point where I'm not interested in love and relationships, which is sad or whatever. Like, that's why I'm not interested in it. And so she was like, oh no, you need to pray about this, and all this other stuff. Don't, be like that and all this other stuff. Y'all, I can't remember exactly what she said. If I think about it, I might screenshot what she said and block her name out and just put our responses to one another up there. But like I said, I can't believe I'm even say this, but she actually ended up sending me 2 TikToks in my inbox after that. And it hit home. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I kind of teared up a little bit. And just thinking about it right now, I mean, I'm going to go and watch it again, because I watched it a couple of times to make sure I was processing it properly. But to make a long story short, essentially, I don't know, y'all. I might actually try. I might try my best to... I might try my best to pray and be positive about the possibility of there being somebody out there for me that is going to love me properly and treat me the way that I've always wanted to be treated. Because one of the things I always tell people is that I've asked for the bare minimum, and I've never even gotten the bare minimum. And it's like, I don't even be asking for much. Like, that's the crazy thing. I ain't never asked for much. The most that I usually would ask these dudes for were to just be faithful men that were going to do right by me. Be honest with me. Don't lie on me. Don't lie to me. Don't cheat on me. I like hugs. You know what I'm saying? They knew my love languages. I love hugs. I like PDA in a sense or whatever. I mean, like, I want to just holding hands. Yeah, I'm finna be 40. Let's hold hands. I want to hold hands. I want to feel as though you actually like me. Like, it's to the point, it got to the point with my ex, I didn't even know that man liked me. Like, I really started questioning myself, like, what is going on? And in my mind nowadays, I just feel as though he never, what? What did she say? Oh, God, I almost had a heart attack. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Lord, I thought my friend said her mama passed away. My friend whose mom has breast cancer, I couldn't make it to her birthday slash, oh, God, it was an event that they threw for her in honor of her being done with chemo and all that stuff. I thought she said her mom passed away. Oh, my gosh, I almost had a heart attack. Oh, my gosh. Jesus. Oh, my gosh, I gotta calm my heart now. Oh, God. Okay. Whew. Oh, my God. I was about to say, I just asked you, how's your mama doing? Like, I talk to her, like, every day. Oh, my gosh. Oh, God. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Okay. Let me try to get back on track. Oh, Lord. Y'all, I'm so sorry. That threw me all the way off. Okay. So, but, yeah, the woman was talking to me, and it's just, I'm going to try my best to be positive. Because the reel itself said something about how fall is, at the time, it was like 5 or 6 days away, officially. Fall is my favorite season, by the way. And so the dude was like, it's a new season approaching. Fall is how many days away, and you can't take those feelings and how you feel, all this other stuff into that and expect for something greater to come out of that. And you're going to end up fighting, like, there are going to be new demons and things you're going to be fighting. I forgot how he said it, but the way he said everything he said hit home. And so in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Let me try to process this. Maybe I will let go. Maybe I will try to be more receptive to things. Because when I tell you, after everything I've been through with my ex, at this point, I'm just like, I'm not open. I'm like, I've been serious this entire time when I've been telling y'all I'm not open to dating, love, relationships, none of that. No matter how much I love and all of that, I've been so dead serious this whole time when I've said to y'all that I'm good on all of that. Even though I have desperately wanted to be happily married. I have seen people who still have fun within their relationships. Their relationships thrive. They don't really argue like that. And if they are having some sort of a moment or whatever, they work through it quickly. And it has seriously, like, for real, been resolved. Ain't no, we faking the funk and, just for this moment, and we finna bring it up and throw it in each other's faces later. Like, no. That's why when the situation was going on with this dude, and he keep on saying stuff and then running away instead of, trying to get to a resolution, it do something to me. And it be making me want to just back all the way away. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not even finna fool with it no more. Like, I'm just like, it's like pulling teeth. I be asking for y'all don't understand. I ask for the bare minimum. I don't ask for much. I really don't. And literally the only reason why gas money came into play is because at this point now I'm trying to figure out, is anybody actually serious about anything? Because usually I gotta ride my gas out, tear my cars up, put all these miles on my car, like literally tear my cars up. I gotta do all of these things. I gotta come out of pocket like crazy. One of the bare minimum things at this point in my life now is you giving me gas money. Like, it's just too, I'm just tired. And I'm the furthest thing from a gold digger. That's the one thing about me. Ain't nobody been able to ever part their lips and say, oh, she a gold digger. Because I'm not. Usually I was the one shelling out all this money. And that's why I ain't got nothing at this point in my life. All the money that I done gave to a man and gave for a man, I could have had brand new vehicles off the car lot. Could have been had a house built from the ground up. Y'all don't understand how much money I've thrown away and wasted on men. It don't even make no sense. The stupidity of it all. But anyway, y'all, I don't know. Just pray for me because it's not a situation where I need a man. It's just nice to well, in my mind, I envision it being a nice situation to be able to come home, have peace in your home, after being out in the world and existing, trying to get through each day, and just living. I told y'all, I've seen with my 2 eyes. I've seen amazing examples of thriving marriages. My parents have been married for 40 years. It's going to be 41 years 2 days before my birthday. My 40th birthday is on the 14th. Their anniversary is on the 12th of February. That's going to be 41 years for them. Happily married. My dad had been living for my mama since they was in high school. They didn't get together until 10 years after that. But he has lived for my mama since the day she said yes to going out on a date with him. Been setting it off. Then my mama was friends with his sister. Their marriage has been 41 years, finna be 42 next year. Like, they just had an anniversary. You know what I'm saying? Like, great relationships. Thriving relationships. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. So it's not like I was in an environment where I didn't see love, real love, people living for each other, doing for each other. Like, when I tell y'all, I have always been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like this, I'm gonna be like that, da 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 da. It just never, I don't know, it just never happened. And I'm just like, I had great intentions. Whenever I have said yes to dating these men, they all knew that I've always been the type of person to date so that it would lead to marriage. I was serious. I was intentional. They were, on the other hand, looking for sex and a handout and to use me. And they got exactly what they wanted out of me. And I didn't get nothing but used up and depreciated over the years and unappreciated. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to try my best. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to try my best to be positive, as if there's going to be somebody out there who will really live for me, who's going to bring everything into my life that I've always wanted. I swear I don't be wanting nothing. I be wanting nothing. What I want basically is nothing. Things that are below bare minimum is really all I be wanting. And I just be like, golly, y'all act like I'm asking for kidneys and your heart, like your literal heart out your chest. Like, kill yourself, hand me your heart. Like, anyway, I'm getting upset. Let me get up off here. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. I'm finna go ahead and eat and start winding down. Within the next hour and a half to 2-3 hours tops. Hopefully I'll be asleep for work. All right, y'all take care. I'll see y'all later on for something else. Bye.